Alright. Tack it. Bracket. Cardboard template. Bend it. Cut it. What's up and welcome back to another video on the Dirty 30. In the last video we built this sick bumper for this thing. And in today's video we're going to continue to work on this thing because there's a ton of stuff that needs to be done to it. I think we're going to work on the exhaust. If you take a look at the turbo housing right here, you can see there's nothing attached to the back of it. So in today's video, we're going to build an exhaust. It's going to go from the back of the turbo down the side and out the back of the truck. So let's get into it. Okay, I'm going to start at the turbo here, and this turbo uses a 2.5-inch V-band clamp off of the housing right here to mount the exhaust. So that's where we're going to start. I'm going to put this flange on there. Then we can put an elbow on it, but we're probably going to have to clearance the firewall a little bit because I don't know how close this is going to be to it. So I guess let's start there. Okay, I'm going to build this entire exhaust out of some 3-inch 304 stainless steel tubing, but coming off the turbo housing's got to be 2.5-inch. So I've got this elbow here, it's 2.5-inch, and it's going to go into the back of this housing right here, but the firewall is in the way, so I'm going to cut this right here, make some clearance for it. Aha. Okay, now that we got a window into the interior here, you can see the exhaust. And we're going to put this on the end of that V-band. Maybe I'll just dump it into the interior like this, and that'll keep the passenger nice and warm. Or we can weld it on like that and continue with our exhaust. Weld this to this. All right, got that welded. I'll put this back on the turbo housing. Something like that. Okay, I said I wanted to make this out of 3-inch exhaust, and that's 2.5-inch downpipe right there. So I've got these little adapters that go from 2.5 to 3 inches. So we're going to weld this piece onto that, just like that. Then we can continue this on with some 3-inch. Okay, got that little flange welded on there. Next, I'm going to try and get this piece on here like this. And that's going to get it directed underneath the floor. All right, attempt to tack this in place. Ooh. Might have got it. Okay, that's welded. Let me throw this back in. I'm going to cut this somewhere up in here, and then I'm going to put another V-band on it so that I can make the exhaust multiple pieces. It'll be easier to take in and out. So let me throw this back in real quick. done it. All right, I got that downpipe shortened up a little bit, and I was about to weld the V-band on it, but I figured I might as well put it back in and then put the rest of the exhaust on so I know exactly how it's gonna line up. Anyway, I bought an 8-foot stick of 3-inch exhaust pipe. It was ridiculously expensive and $1 million to ship it, but I got it. And I guess I'm gonna stick this under there and see what we got. Yeah. Gonna sit something like this. I'm just gonna line up these 2 spots and then put that V-band on there. Tack it. Okay, just welded that flange on there all the way around, and before I connect the rest of the exhaust to it, I think I'm going to build a hanger or a mount for the downpipe. It's going to bolt right to this bolt on the bell housing, and that's going to take some of the relief off of the downpipe. I don't want the weight of the exhaust just hanging on the single V-band up on the turbo housing. So I think a little mount right here onto this will support this end of the downpipe really good. So I'm gonna make a little bracket for that real quick. Bracket. Now I can just weld that to that. Okay, just got that welded on there. That should take the weight off of that V-band up at the top and support this part of the downpipe pretty good. So next thing I want to do is attach this V-band to this part, and then we can weld the rest of the exhaust to that. Weld it. Okay, that's welded, good enough for now. The next thing I want to do is put some hangers on the back side of this tube so that it'll be fully supported. Then I'll pull the whole thing out and weld all the way around this thing. So let me show you what I got for some hangers on the back. Okay, underneath the rear of the truck, by this cross member, I bought a bunch of these universal hangers, and we got some rubber exhaust mounts, and I'm probably gonna mount 2 of these right here, one here, one on this side, and then I can mount one of these right here and connect the 2 with the rubber isolator, and that should hold the back of this just fine. Okay, just cut a couple of these down, weld them right here. Okay, now I can stick the hanger on this part. Just like that. And then I bent the end of these. It's gonna sit like that. Alright, now I can pull this out, weld it on the bench, it'll be a lot easier. Okay, that's all welded. Looks really good. I ended up throwing the other V-band on this end so that we can continue it out the back. It's actually the next day. Last night I had a great adventure. I took the 40 out to go get some food, and when I got there I managed to break the switch for the parking brake, so the parking brake was stuck on and I couldn't get it off, so I had to go home, get a ride home, and then come back with a bunch of tools, and I was able to unbolt the calipers, get them off, drive home, so that was fun. And then this morning I got to go on a marketplace run, and I picked up some more parts for this thing, so I guess I'll be showing you guys those at some point in time in the future. But love marketplace. I'm sure everybody that watches this does too, but definitely a good score for this thing. Anyway, let me throw this back under the back of the truck, and then we can continue making it come out the back. Okay, here's how it's looking so far through this back underneath it. We got the downpipe, the rest of the exhaust, all the way to here. And now my plan is to go up and over the axle and then down and out by that fender right there. So I've got a couple of bends. We're gonna put one right here. And then this one, probably right here. And it's gonna attach to that V-band right there, so let's do that. Pipe. Welded, still hot. Alright, that's how that's gonna look. I gotta connect a piece down here. Get creative here. Okay, just welded that and bolted it back into place. You can see where we got the exhaust routed to now. And now I need to work on where it's gonna come out behind it. In my head, I had envisioned it coming out between the leaf spring and the fender. something like this. I think that'll be the cleanest. Something like that. So I'm going to weld this little extension on there real quick. Okay, just pulled that out and welded it on there. I think it turned out pretty sweet. Check it out. I think it looks pretty good. That's where I wanted it to come out, and it clears the tire pretty good, and the bushing and the leaf spring and stuff, so that shouldn't be a problem. And I guess in the future, if I don't like it, I can cut this and put a elbow on it, or direct it in a different way, or put a tip on it, something. Just the tip, I don't know. But I don't know, I like the way this is looking so far. All right, the last thing I want to do before I wrap up this tailpipe section is I want to put another hanger up here. I don't know, I might put one from here to here, or maybe down this way a little further, but that's the next thing I want to do, is put one more hanger on this, and that'll make this complete. Okay, just whipped up another hanger. That should wrap this up. Should hold the tailpipe in place pretty good. Seems pretty solid. This is how it looks out the back. Wanted that exhaust to be subtle and not obnoxious or sticking out very far, so I made it come out right there. I think it looks pretty good. In the future, if I don't like it, I can always put a little turn down or an angled piece or an elbow on this part, but I think it looks pretty good like that. Should flow pretty good from the downpipe all the way out to the tailpipe, because it's basically just a straight shot. I'm not running a muffler because the turbo acts as a muffler. I don't have to run a particulate filter because this is not an emissions type vehicle. So we don't have to deal with DEF or any of that type of stuff. But I think the exhaust turned out pretty good. Is that going to wrap up the exhaust now? No, not quite. If you remember the beginning of the video, I cut a giant hole in the firewall just to make some room for the downpipe. So now I guess let's make a filler panel to cover that back up. As with everything that I do, start with a cardboard template. We're going to trace that onto some sheet metal, cut it out. Bend it. Wanted a soft bend, so I bent it in the vise and not on the brake. Tap it. Weld it. Grind it. Okay, ended up with this. Looks pretty good. Now we can just set it into place and then weld it in. It's gonna sit about right there. Let me get the welder. Okay, that's all welded in. Looks really good. You're never going to see any of that in the future because it's going to get covered with some Dynamat and the carpet and whatever else I put in here, but it's got some clearance for the exhaust now. Here's what the outside looks like. I couldn't get the grinder in there completely right now because everything that's in the way here, but eventually when I take the cab back off again, I can clean this up and body work it and make it all smooth and nice, but for now, that's done. Okay, I guess that's gonna wrap it up for this video. I was planning on putting a bunch of things into one video, but everybody kept asking for a video, so I guess I just put this one out. Also, this is all the exhaust I have left over from that tubing that I bought. I bought an 8-foot long stick, and that's all that's left. And basically, there's a 6.5-foot straight piece directly underneath the cab, and that took up most of that piece. And then a couple of the bends over the axle, and another piece of the straight coming out by the fender there. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, that's one more part done on this seemingly endless project, and the only way to get those things done is to go out there and get after it, and that's what I'm gonna do. So, not sure what I'm gonna do next, but make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss whatever episode I put out next, and I'll see you guys next time.